Detailed Summary of the Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now is a transformative guide that explores the power of living in the present moment. Through his teachings, Tolle reveals how attachment to the mind and ego creates suffering and how embracing the present leads to inner peace, fulfillment, and spiritual awakening. Below is an in-depth summary of the book, structured to illuminate its core messages and practical applications. Let's begin with the introduction, the origin of the book. Tolle begins by recounting his own profound spiritual awakening. At the age of 29, he experienced a deep existential crisis that led him to a life-changing realization. The voice in his head was not his true self. This realization dissolved his identity as he knew it, plunging him into a state of deep inner peace and presence. Inspired by his experience, Tolle wrote The Power of Now to guide others towards similar liberation. The book's primary aim is to help readers disconnect from compulsive thinking, break free from identification with the ego, and awaken to the reality of the present moment, the now. Tolle sets the tone by emphasizing the urgency of embracing the present moment. He suggests that many people postpone life by being trapped in the future or the past. He proposes a radical shift in perception, the realization that life exists only in the now. You are not your mind. Tolle emphasizes that most people live dominated by their minds, which create a false sense of self known as the ego. The ego is driven by thought patterns, memories, and projections into the future, all of which distract from the present moment. Key insights on this: the voice in your head. The mind engages in incessant thinking, often about the past or future, leading to worry, regrets, and stress. This mental noise creates suffering. Observer versus the mind. That's the second insight. By observing your thoughts without identifying with them, you realize that you are not your mind, but the awareness behind it. Insight number 3. Freedom from mind domination. This realization allows you to disassociate from the ego and its habitual patterns, paving the way to inner peace. Tolle offers practical advice such as meditating on the space between thoughts to disrupt the flow of mental chatter. By doing so, individuals can experience a shift from identification with their minds to a deeper sense of awareness. Consciousness, the way out of pain. Tolle introduces the concept of the pain body, which represents the accumulated emotional pain carried within. The pain arises from clinging to past traumas or anticipating future suffering. Let's look at the key insights of this chapter. Number 1 is the pain body. The pain body feeds on negative emotions, perpetuating circling of pain and reactivity. Awareness is the key. That's key insight number 2. By becoming aware of the pain body, you disrupt its control over you. Observe it without judgment and it will dissolve. Key insight number 3. Breaking the cycle. Avoid identifying with the pain body by focusing on the now, where pain cannot survive. Toll explains that awareness dissolves pain as it presents the pain body from feeding on unconscious negativity. He encourages readers to bring light to the darkness by observing their emotions non-judgmentally. Chapter 4. Moving deeply into the now. The present moment is the only true reality. Yet most people are rarely fully present. They live in a constant state of psychological time, oscillating between dwelling on the past and worrying about the future. Key insights about this chapter. Number 1, the illusion of time. Past and future exist only as thoughts in your mind. The now is the only real moment. Insight number 2, presence is liberation. Fully experiencing the present moment frees you from the burdens of time and ego. Let's look at the practical tips. Focus on your breath. Bring attention to sensory perceptions like sounds, sights, and touch. Accept the present moment without resistance. Toll emphasizes the need to die the past every moment. This practical involves realizing attachment to stories about who you are and what has happened to you, allowing the true self to emerge. Chapter 5. The state of presence. Presence is a state of heightened awareness and connection to the now. It is not something to achieve but something to realize as theories avails itself. What are the key insights? Number 1, we shall need to know what is the presence. Presence is the state of being fully conscious and free from the distractions of thought and ego. What are the barriers to presence? The ego resists presence because it thrives on identification with past and future. How do we access presence? Pay attention to your inner body, the subtle energy within you. Embrace stillness and silence as doorways to presence. Toll highlights that true creativity and solutions arise from presence, not from the mind. By quieting mental noise, individuals can access intuitive wisdom. Chapter 6. The inner body. The inner body refers to the life energy that animates your physical form, connecting with its anchors you in the now and deepens your awareness. What are the key insights of this chapter? Feeling the inner body. Shift your attention inward to sense the aliveness within you. This practical enhances presence and reduces the identification with the mind. What are the benefits of that? Regularly connecting with the inner body fosters grounding, peace, and vitality. Let's look at the practical exercise. Close your eyes and focus on your hands. Feel the subtle tingling or energy sensation. Gradually extend this awareness to the rest of your body. Toll explains that the inner body is a bridge to the unmanifested, the formless essence of life. By staying connected to this energy field, individuals can remain rooted in presence. Chapter 7. Portals into the unmanifested. The unmanifested refers to the source of all creation, a formless dimension of pure being. Toll describes it as the eternal stillness beyond the world of form and thought. What is unmanifested? It is the essence of who you are beyond the physical and mental. And how can one access the unmanifested? Embrace stillness and silence. Pay attention to the gaps between thoughts. Surrender fully to the present moment. Tolle likens the unmanifested to the ocean beneath the waves. While the waves represent form and activity, the ocean symbolizes the stillness and depth of being. Chapter 8. Enlightened relationships. Relationships are often fraught with conflict because they are dominated by egoic patterns, such as attachment, blame, and control. Enlightened relationships, however, are rooted in presence and love. Let's look at the key insights of this chapter. Ego in relationships. The ego creates drama by protecting unmet needs onto others. Insight number 2. Practicing presence together. True love arises when both partners are fully present and free from ego. Insight number 3. Transforming relationships. Use relationships as mirrors to reflect your inner state. Challenges become opportunities for growth and deeper connection. Tolle explains that relationships are not about competing oneself, but about sharing presence and deepening awareness together. Chapter 9. Beyond happiness and unhappiness. True peace transcends fleeting emotions like happiness and unhappiness. It arises from within, and it is independent of external circumstances. What are the key insights of this chapter? Key insight number 1. The transient nature of emotions. Emotions come and go, but peace remains constant when you are present. The space of stillness. By observing your emotions without identifying with them, you create space for inner stillness. Living in peace. Detach from the mind and surrender to the flow of life, embracing each moment as it is. Tolle distinguishes between joy, which arises from presence, and pleasure, which depends on external factors. Joy is sustainable while pleasure is fleeting. The meaning of surrender. Chapter 10. Surrender is not about giving up or resigning to fate. Instead, it is about fully accepting the present moment as it is without resistance or judgment. Key insights. What is surrender? Surrender is aligning yourself with the now by letting go of resistance to what it is. Acceptance versus resistance. Resistance creates suffering, while acceptance leads to peace and clarity. Practical surrender. When faced with challenges, ask yourself, can I let this moment be as it is? Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. Tolle concludes that surrender is not passive but a profound act of trust in the flow of life. It allows for spontaneous, authentic action rooted in presence. Let's look at the core teachings of the power of now before we conclude. The present moment is all there is. Life unfolds only in the now. Past and future are mental constructs that distract from the reality of the present. Core teaching number 2. Ego is the source of suffering. The ego perpetuates fear, judgment, and attachment. Transcending it requires disidentification from the mind. Number 3, awareness is the key to freedom. Observing your thoughts, emotions, and the pain body without judgment allows you to break free from their control. Number 4, acceptance leads to peace. Fully embracing the present moment, regardless of its content, dissolves resistance and brings inner calm. Number 5, practical presence practices. Use mindfulness, meditation, body awareness, and sensory focus to stay noted in the now. The power of now is more than a book. It is a spiritual manual for transforming your life by reconnecting with the present moment. Tolle's teachings challenge conventional thinking and offer profound insights into the nature of existence, suffering, and peace. By practicing presence, detaching from the ego, and surrendering to the flow of life, readers can discover a deeper sense of purpose, joy, and freedom. Whether you are seeking relief from anxiety, greater clarity, or spiritual awakening, the timeless wisdom of the power of now serves as a beacon for living fulfilled and enlightened life. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and share with your friends. If you need the book, please go to the description below and get a copy of your own. Thank you.